Come on, baby. Nope. Well, what we have here is another dead damn fuel pump, and I'm not entirely sure how that's the case. This will now be the third pump I have fried, soon to be my fourth pump I have put on this car in about 10,000 miles. It is a 455 Pontiac. It does run a mechanical fuel pump. It is a blueprinted 455 HO quadrajet carburetor. It's nothing crazy. It makes like 440 horsepower on the engine dyno. So it's not lighting the world on fire, but I am dead with a fuel pump again. We can put fuel in the carburetor, fires right up. So my ignition system is fine, which means I need to replace the fuel pump. However, since the last time I did this in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky, I can't find these fuel pumps. Mechanical fuel pumps, can't find them anywhere. So I have upgraded. Well, maybe. I've at least spent a bunch more money on a brand new version. This is the high performance Holley fuel pump. There you go. High performance Holley fuel pump. It's chrome, because chrome will get you home. This guy here. This is a mechanical unit. It's got one of them little rocker arm guys there. And Pontiac doesn't use a stick, so it's just driven off of a cam eccentric. You know, arm goes up and down, which pumps fuel from the tank into the motor. That's how that works. It is a deadhead system. It is only 2 connections, so there is no return on this pump. Just in and out, which is pretty damn simple. Now the one that's on there is a returned system, so I'm just not going to run the return, which is no big deal. And I don't know. I guess this will fix my problem. I really hate to film another video of me replacing another fuel pump on a Pontiac, because I just did this on my 1968 in order to get it in the shop. Actually, I have that fuel pump sitting in the back of my other car. I could have totally just used that. Oops. But this is going to be the highest flowing version that's possible, and I'm going to use it because I have it. I also have the fittings that I need. Swung over to Jegs to pick up my fittings to be able to do it, because this has NPT fittings, and I'm just going to be able to put NPT to 5/16 lines. Because I believe this still has the original 5/16 lines on it. That may be something we upgrade in the future up to 3/8 inch lines. If maybe fuel starvation is an issue, I'm still wrapping my head around how in the world that would cause a fuel pump to go bad, a mechanical fuel pump. I don't know. Maybe that's the case. But anyway, I need to get to work. I got to get this car up in the air, get the bolts off, get the lines off, get the fuel pump replaced. That's what we're doing today. Pontiac fuel pump replacement. Again. Here we go. Alrighty, here we are with my 455. Still have all the old stuff on it. Haven't done much of any kind of upgrades on that. Last upgrades we did on this are the front disc brakes, which are miraculous. Huge improvement in braking. Here is my mechanical fuel pump. So this is my outline that runs up to the carburetor, my inline and my return line. So this is the one we're not going to use. This is my inline, which we are going to use. It is held on literally with 2 just independent bolts that are up there. Right there is one, and there's one on the back side. Super simple to get to. This should be a reasonably quick and easy process. It won't be, because there will be a lot of cursing and screaming and frustrations to get this off. The only thing that's marginally complicated is that rear bolt and getting the cam oriented to where I need to be able to be to get the pump installed. I'll show you here. You can see this pump sits here like this. It's got this little arm here. This actuates on a cam that literally just pushes it up and down. And if the cam is in the position where it's down, trying to get this in there is almost impossible, so you just need to bump the motor over to roll it over so that you can get this more easily in there. And that's it. The nice thing with this Holley pump is it is rebuildable. This diaphragm is essentially the only thing that can go bad on these, but you can take them apart and you can replace those as well if you ever happen to have something go bad, which God forbid it ever does. But I also get a Holley sticker, which is exciting. This doesn't require a whole lot of complicated tools. We got 2 bolts to remove, a line to undo, 2 worm clamps right here, and I have barb fittings for my fuel pump, so I should be able to just, and we're rock and rolling. So, but I don't want to disconnect this because it will probably gravity feed all over my face, and I want to leave that till the very end of the show. So, let's get these 2 bolts off of here, get this off, and hopefully we can reuse a bunch of this stuff. And I can drive my car again. Well, there's at least a little bit of fuel in there. Interesting. I was not expecting it to have that much fuel left in it. Plot thickens. That should have been more than enough fuel to fire this car up. Alright. Fuel line to the carburetor is disconnected. Need to get the 2 bolts off of here, which is just 2 these little guys, and that old pump comes out. The old pump coming out is the easy part. It's the new pump going in that's not so fun. Half-inch bolts. It's not easy to do with one hand. You get the idea. Bolt, and then there's another one on the other side. You know, nothing breeds proficiency like repetition. And I'm getting pretty dang proficient at replacing Pontiac fuel pumps. But I am genuinely curious why I'm getting so good at this. Why are these pumps failing so fast? Now listen, I get it. They don't build them like they used to. And I'll agree with that. They don't build them like they used to. But I am the only idiot that I know that's had to replace 4 mechanical fuel pumps or 3 mechanical fuel pumps on a classic car. I know many people that have been driving around on the same fuel pump for 20, 30, 40 years with 0 problems that make, you know, roughly the same power I do. This is a 440 horsepower motor, so yeah, it's on the higher end, but still. But I'm getting good at it. I am getting good at it. All right, fuel pump is loose. You can see there's a little gasket guy there. Pretty simple process. So you can take these lines loose, and I can pull the rest of this guy out of here, cap this guy off, just shove a bolt in there and then cinch it down to keep this thing from gravity feeding all over my face. And then we're going to figure out what our fitment is with our fittings. And I have to figure out how to adapt this, because I don't think this is going to fit. And we'll see. We'll see. Don't say you can't until you try. And I think the last one I put on this car, which is this one here, is the one I got from AutoZone. Yeah, in the middle of Kentucky. That's on the way back from No Name Nationals. That's the pump that I have on here. So, I don't know. I don't know. Wow. Come loose, please. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. Right in the face. Ow! Safety glasses would have been smart, you idiot. Ow! Cinch this down so it doesn't just leak fuel. Go wash out my eyes. Dumb. Dumb, Austin. You knew that was going to happen. You knew that was going to happen. You moron. Ow, burning. All right. Ow, 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 ow. All right. Back. Didn't get it in my eye, just all around my eye. But remember, kids, if you're gonna do dumb stuff, wear safety gear, or at least have the camera rolling. I still gotta disconnect my return line here real quick. But ideally, I think this is gonna be, I don't think that's an NPT flare. Because this is a hard line from here up. So I may have to finagle something to go on my NPT flare and barb and just run a hose up to the top. I got one of these little guys here to be able to fit onto my new pump. So let's finagle that. Let me get this last line off here. Ow! That was stupid. Here we be. There's our AutoZone fuel pump. Let's see if I can warranty this out, because I bet you this has got a warranty. But when I spoke with them the other day, this was not available. Special order only in, which sucks. But whatever. All right, we've got some options here. We've got quarter MPT to 5/16. I've also got quarter MPT to 3/8. The lines I believe that are already on this are 3/8 lines. Yes, that is a 3/8 line. So we will use the 3/8 to quarter. And these are simple. They just screw in here. No big deal. And the nice thing, like I said, these are serviceable. You can actually just take these, zip, 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 those guys out, and you can replace this diaphragm, whereas this one is a solid cast unit. So when this diaphragm goes bad, which clearly they invariably do, you just have to replace the whole pump. In this case, I just have to take this bottom piece out, replace this diaphragm, put it back together again. So much more serviceable unit. Whether or not it survives or not, we'll see. We're gonna hope. Okay, there we go. Bottom line is our in line. Top one's our out line. And it should work for our orientation. Let's feed this line here for our in. Don't worry about that. And we're just gonna have to run some hose from this barb up to the top, which I think I still have my line that I ran when this thing cooked a fuel pump the first time in Kentucky. Not the same time in Kentucky. I've had 2 of these fuel pumps die in Kentucky. But I replaced it with a electronic fuel pump and ran it with just soft line. And I think I still have that kit. So I'm gonna look for that wire, or for that hosing real quick. And then we'll see if this goes in. This should be a pretty simple process. The only question is going to be whether or not I got to bump the motor over to get the pump to sit where it needs to sit. Let's see if that works. Let's see how lucky I get. Nope. Gonna have to bump the motor over. See there where it just won't physically go up there? Is it won't compress against that camshaft when the camshaft is down. So I'll have to bump the motor over to get it in there. No big deal. Then try it again. How about them apples? Got it on the first try. That'll fit. I just got to put the gasket in there. And we're good to go. Hasn't even been in there long enough for the gasket material to get stuck on the friggin' motor. Alright, well, this is undoubtedly the worst part of this job. Gasket on, pump goes in, and you gotta put that blind bolt through that hole. Which you can't see, since it's a blind hole, But you've also got to keep the gasket material lined up, so otherwise you're going to block the hole. And this is not fun. This can go easy. This should be a 15-minute process. Bing, bang, boom, you're out. If you get this wrong, which I do every single time, this could also mean you're going to end up spending a couple of hours in the parking lot of a hotel cursing and screaming and getting oil and grease and gasoline in your hair. Just speaking from experience. Let's see how this goes. Alright. Come on, let's get lucky. Let's get lucky. Gaskets already came off the bolt. Now this is the part that sucks. I think I've got it lined up. See if we can get this bolt to thread in. I'll be back with you. This part's really frustrating. Also, FYI, you can use some like tacky, if you happen to have like bearing grease or something, anything that's got a little bit of tack to it to hold that gasket against the surface also does help. Probably will do the same thing myself. I've got my bolts in. Alright. Snugged. Snug the front one up. This is really annoying. It's one of those jobs, it's like, this is super simple. It's just 2 bolts. Part out, part in. 2 bolts, 2 lines. Bob's your uncle. Let's rock and roll. Let's go burn some tires. It's just super annoying. And I don't know if it's more annoying because I've done it so many times, or if it's just because, like, this should be super simple. Why am I in here for 20 or 30 minutes every single time I do this? Anyway, it's in. Yippee. All right, here we go. Got my bolts in. Got my pump on. Got my lines oriented, and these are snugged down. Come on, focus. Focus. There we go. These are snugged down with a wrench. So, yes, there is some thread showing, but they should be perfectly fine. We'll know that here in a minute when I pressurize it. Feed line here. No big deal. This one's my return. Don't care about that. We're going to get the feed line here hooked up, and then I'm just going to snake another line down from up top down to here, get that connected to that hose, and figure out what's going on top. All right, snipped a little bit of hose off. Nice straight line of hose. No kinks, so we don't think that that's part of our problem. Nice straight length of hose, 3/8 inch. That's all nice and snug. In there, out there. Let's drop her down and see what's what. I also need to figure out a way to secure that. I don't want to pull that line. Maybe I do. I don't know. We'll see. Let's get it down. All right. Let's see if I've got my other piece of hose. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, that's not how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to cut this line that's already on here, and I'm going to adapt it to what I need to do. Because this line is already perfectly fine up here, and I'm not going to leave myself the crutch of possibly replacing it with one of those. Because I'm not replacing a $200 fuel pump on this car with another $35 fuel pump. That's not an option. So I'm just going to put this thing back up in the air, and I cut that line, flare it, run a little bit of hose over to it, cinch it down, and that's what we're going to use. That's what I'm going to do. I'm never going to need this line ever again on one of those pumps. Don't leave yourself the crutch, Austin. Just lift it, cut the thing off, call it quits. You're done. That's what I'm doing. Alrighty, folks, here we go. Hard line into the Quadrajet, soft line from here down. And that should get us what we need. Okay, well. Doesn't smell like fuel, doesn't look like we're leaking fuel. The battery's not happy. Oh, there's fuel in there. I heard it. Oh, come on, give me a fire. Oh, we were so close. So close. There's fuel in that carburetor. Hey, hey, hey! We have fire. We have fire. Hopefully not fire, but contained combustion. I have fixed the thing. Again, the same thing I've fixed multiple times. Yay. All right. Check for leaks. No active leaks there. Don't see any active leaks there. I think we have done a thing. I think we have done a thing, folks. Yeah, this thing doesn't have a choke on it, so it's gonna be a minute before she's warm up. That's the drive. Oh! Well, as wild as it is to say, bad fuel pump again. I'd love to be able to give you a reasoning behind this, and I really would love to, but I don't know. You tell me. I need to clean up after myself a little bit and get the arms off this thing, and then we need to go on a test drive to verify our repair. So give me a second. I'll be right back. Well, it's not on fire yet, so that's a good thing. I think we got it, boys. Beautiful evening for a drive, too. just fine. I am a little bit curious as far as what potential wear I have seen on this motor over the last 10,000 miles. It's not a race car. I don't drive it like a race car. Well, I mean, I drive it reasonably hard, but I don't drive it like a race car all the time. And I am genuinely a little curious as to how much wear this motor has seen over the last 10,000 miles and the last bunch of years, especially with the fact that it keeps killing fuel pumps. I don't think any of that fuel is finding any way into the oil. But, you know, with the fact that it's now September and hot rod season is pretty much over, does it make sense to pull the motor and refresh this thing? Go through it? I've got a lot on my plate already. I would say probably too much on my plate already. But I also don't want to risk this car potentially having any problems, or this motor potentially having any problems. So, I don't know. You tell me. Does it make sense or no? Let's do a traction test real quick, just to make sure the fuel pressure stays up under RPM, yeah? Yep, seems to do fine. Smells like freedom. And yes, I do still have my slicks in the trunk. If you could hear that kunk kunk, that's because I have my slicks in the trunk. Well, there you go, folks. 1970 Pontiac LeMans is repaired once again. Traction seems to be perfectly fine compared to my traction marks last time. Things are good. No more fuel leaks, no more fuel pump problems. I would love to know what your thoughts are on this, why I end up having to put new fuel pumps in this car. It's not like it's built to the moon. It's a 9.5 to 1 compression, maybe not even that, 455 Pontiac. I'm not asking that much out of it. It doesn't run crazy amounts of fuel pressure. It's 93 octane. Why am I still destroying fuel pumps? I'm really genuinely curious. Let me know what you think. Welcome to Automotive Adventures with Austin. This is my own little corner of the internet, corner of YouTube, where I work on my projects and my stuff that I own and all my current stupidity, and go on little automotive adventures, everything in between. If you're interested in this kind of thing, please click on the subscribe button. Be glad to have you. We did recently crack 5,000 subscribers, which is awesome, so thank you very much, everybody who's gotten to me where I am. And I'm very excited to see where this channel gets in the next year or so. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I've got a lot of toys to play with, so hopefully you guys are in for the long run. I'm very excited to have this thing back up and running once again. My 1970 455 Pontiac LeMans. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.